How's it going, everybody? This is your Astrology Horoscope for the weekend of May 25th, 26th, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moon Base. Hope you guys had a great week. It's good to be here with all of you. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, say what's up. In the description of this video, you can find all the links to all of my social media platforms, including the link to my booking website, which you can book for the 1st of June, for the first week of June. Well, there's a few spots in the first week of June. Going into the second week until the 21st, the reading sale is going to be active. So get on that when you can. This weekend, we're coming down off this full moon, okay? And right when we come into Saturday morning, this moon is incredibly sensitive when it squares Neptune. Okay, we have 3 planets at 29 degrees. We call that the enriched degree or the fated degree. That's an astrological term you hear a lot. And there's a lot of transitional energy going on, and it's very emotional. You know, it's easy to kind of fall into these states of like being disillusioned or confused or not knowing where you're headed. You know, and not knowing what is real. But I think too, it's like we've gotten such a clear image within our minds, and even how our physical reality is projecting back to us in a synchronistic way of where we should be headed, since Mars and the North Node met, and now that Mars is getting closer to Chiron, it is a lot of feelings and emotions coming up, and we're starting to feel it in our body, right? So it's like our subconscious and our physical body are really feeling sensitive this weekend, right? And I think with Mars in Aries getting closer to Chiron and this moon in Sag squaring Neptune, both at 29 degrees, we have Jupiter sextile Neptune. I feel like those feelings of feeling disconnected or disillusioned or feeling let down or feeling like you don't know what is real or what is true, or, you know, or difficult emotional conversations come up where it's like, you know, like it comes down to beliefs and, you know, being confused about different people's opinions and beliefs. And it's like, well, I thought we were on the same page. You know, it's temporary. And I think being able to actually physically put that energy and transmute that energy in a healing way, in a physical way, in a very Aries-like way can help us kind of shake through the subconscious shit that can kind of come up. Especially coming into Saturday morning and waking up, it's like, man, heavy dream states, you know, especially because this moon is still in Sag, you know, it's still somewhat full. We're coming down off that full moon. So it's like, you know, we've gone through a lot over this past, the past month since the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, but the past couple weeks, 2 weeks since the new moon in Taurus, like we've been going through a lot of conjunctions, a lot of transits, a lot of conjunctions, you know. So with this Jupiter at 29 degrees, like this is a very fated moment of like, this is when all the good things really start to show up in a very fated way, you know. And Jupiter works in very funny ways. It's like maybe the things that start to show up are, you know, more than you thought, or it's too much, right? So these feelings of disconnection or being disillusioned or confused, it's like we have to keep focusing on what's really truly expanding our lives in a positive, amazing way, because Jupiter's coming into Gemini today. We have Venus and the Sun in Gemini, so we're starting to have more Gemini action going on. You know, we had 5 planets in Taurus for the past few weeks. Now we're starting to get a lot of different Gemini energy. So it's like we need to start moving, you know, and get out of our stuck ways so, you know, we can really receive all the good, amazing things that are coming into our lives. Because Jupiter is blessings. It's big blessings. And when Jupiter comes to the 29th degree or the anaretic degree, which you hear that term being thrown around all over the fucking internet of astrology and, TikTok and all that. But, that's what we call it. This is where fated things really start to transpire. A lot of fated events. And especially since Mars and the North Node just conjunct. And it's like fate is taking over at this moment. And it's very transitional, right? And that we have a lot of 29 degree action going on today. It's like, okay, where are we headed? There could be some confusion. It's like, fuck, this is the end. This is it. It's like, no, Jupiter's like, we're moving on to a whole new territory. So here you go. Here's the big blessings of the past year. Here it is. And as we move through these next few days and these next week or two, as Mercury crosses all that same area with the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction at 21, and then it will meet with Uranus, which will definitely send us off into all new directions, and Mars will finally get off Chiron. We have to stay positive and know, even when things get confusing or we feel disconnected or disillusioned, that we are really moving into the best territory astrologically that we will see in a very long time. And this is going to last a long time, okay? Even when we start to move into the more difficult spaces towards the last half of the year, the last quarter of the year, But this is what's setting up those moments. But it is hard to let go of things at times. Taurus doesn't want to let go. It just wants to hold on. Taurus is the hoarder. It's like, fuck, I just want to hold on to this moment and this feeling and just be right here. And fuck, I don't want to let go of Jupiter and Taurus. And I kind of feel that way. I'm a 29 degree Taurus rising. I'm like, fuck, that was great. I don't want to let it go. Please don't go. Even though I love, Jupiter. I love Gemini energy too, but Jupiter's in its detriment. So it really is this Jupiter-Taurus transit that we just had that's just really been so supportive in helping us create a more structured, solid physical reality. And now we're going to start to see the big blessings that are going to come through. We just don't want to fall into the chaos, We don't want to fall into the same old belief systems and patterns that just don't serve us anymore, or the same subconscious loops with Neptune at 29. This Neptune, there's a lot of deception or illusions or things we thought that were real or true with, that are going to keep getting shattered every time this Neptune at 29 gets aspected, in this moon in Sag. It's like, well, here's the truth, and that could really be emotionally challenging, The moon in Sag can be harsh as well, but at least it's honest, okay? Because with Neptune and Pisces, it's just like, well, I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to face it. I just want to, escape. This moon in Sag is not going to let us escape. It's going to bring the truth, whether we like it or not, But accepting that can help us get to this place of being on that frequency of allowing the best things and all the possibilities to really come through. So, it can be a little heavier this, especially on Saturday. And this moon is going to come into Capricorn. Okay. And then, moon in Capricorn already is very fucking cold. So the moon is, not really going to make any aspects. It will quincunx the sun. So it is. It's like, well, you don't want to try to control the environment too much. You want to allow the energy, to kind of carry itself. Because this moon in Capricorn wants to control, and this Venus and Sun in Gemini, and now the Jupiter's in Gemini here. It's like we just have to kind of go with the flow and let the fun new energy come through. But there's this kind of fucking grandma energy with this moon in Capricorn where it's just awkward. It's just well, you gotta let go of the control. You can't try to control things too much or control your emotions too much. Sometimes, just saying how you feel in almost like a childlike way can be, and that's what Gemini does. It just speaks straight from its head, sometimes you just have to get things off your chest. And I think too, when that moon in Sag squares Neptune, it is one of these feelings where it's like, like I just need to talk to somebody, or reach out. If you need to share some deep feelings or you're feeling a certain kind of way, like that, this is that aspect where people are just fucking kind of lose their shit and they're just confused and disillusioned. This is a moment to just like Saturday morning, well, all is Saturday really, but it's like, if someone's like, hey, I need to talk to you. I just need to get shit. This is a good time to listen, and just be a good a listener, right? Or if you need to get things off your chest or you need to talk to somebody, reach out, because if we're holding things in this weekend, things can kind of pop off when Neptune gets aspected like that. And definitely with Mars getting closer to Chiron, it's like, there is a lot of tense, deep emotions coming up. But it's like, we don't want to try to control the emotions too much. We want to let them happen. We want to let them flow out and, be able to express them and share them and communicate them, and that can present new information that, we didn't know we really needed, right? Or new ideas or new ways of dealing with things, finding solutions, right? I think Mercury getting closer to Uranus, like being resourceful. That's what Taurus does. Taurus knows how to be very resourceful and find, solutions to simple things, right? So I think with this Mercury getting closer to Uranus, it's helping us like find more simple solutions to things that we thought were so complex, but weren't really as complex as we thought they were, or vice versa, helping us find practical solutions to problems that are really complex, but the solution is actually more simple, even when the situation is a complex thing to deal with. So, I think being able to branch out and just fucking, Jupiter's now in Gemini. So it wants to have fun. It wants to, get out and do fun things and connect with people in a different, unique way and experience different environments, and I think doing that and being willing to step out of those comfort zones, because with Jupiter and Taurus, it's like, yeah, I feel stable. I feel good. Now it's like Gemini's like, fuck, I need to be stimulated. I need attention. I need to just fucking be with somebody or talk to somebody. It's like, I don't feel good just be sitting still. Gemini does not do good just sitting still. It needs constant stimulation. So, if you get into these moments of boredom or being stuck, like it's not a good thing, but also like this grandma energy, like when Capricorn and Gemini get together, it's like, they don't really understand each other. Capricorn's like, you need to grow the fuck up. And Gemini's like, you need to fucking just lighten up and have some fun. Blow the dust off. Grease the joints a bit. So it is one of these weekends of like kind of breaking through these stuck patterns and emotions that are just, can almost feel like they're too much, or being disillusioned or disconnected, because this Mercury getting closer to Uranus and Jupiter, Venus, and Gemini, which are Mercury ruled, or in Mercury, a Mercury ruled sign, so Mercury is dispositing Jupiter, Venus, and the sun. It's like, we really want to connect. We really want to communicate with other people and have, fucking stimulating conversations and, go out and fucking just have fun, so it is this kind of, it is like, when someone's like, hey, come out and hang out with us. It's like, I don't want to, even though you really want to, but you don't want to admit that you want to, and you just want to kind of be stuck and not really want to move, even though you do, but you don't want to say it, and it's just like, come on, and you're feeling like, okay, And then when you do, it was always a good time anyway, even when you wanted to cry about it and just put on a show. So, and yeah, this moon will square the nodes, so it is like, we can, if we want to try to control things too much, it's like, it's gonna hurt, and it's gonna feel a little painful here, but we can feel pulled in multiple directions, especially coming into Sunday, it's like, fuck, like, you know, I have a more clear picture and vision of where I want to go, you know, and like, this is the structure I want to build in my life. And this is the person that I want to be and the image that I want to project. But like, you know, like these issues with relationships that are still playing out here with these nodes, it's like, you know, if you can't let it go or find solutions or be diplomatic about, you know, bringing more balance in relationships that could be beneficial to every person within the relationship and your identity in the relationship, like, you know, like it can get very, it could bring you into a state of like trying to control things too much. And, you know, when you feel pulled and you don't know where to go and you feel trapped and you're just like, ugh, you know, and when this moon square Mars, it's like things can get a little challenging with this moon squaring Mars, and then it'll square Chiron. So there can definitely be some emotional conflicts that come up here on Sunday night where it's like, fuck, you know, we really got to face these things, you know, but we can't try to control things too much. But we also can't just like, you know, plow through things head first and just, you know, without actually finding common ground or finding solutions, even when it's painful. So I think it's really important where it's like being able to know what we want and know the person that we want to be and the structure we want to build in life and the direction that we want to go, and knowing our destiny and following our destiny. You know, it's like that's what this North Node Mars conjunction was all about, is following our destiny. And that's what Capricorn does. It, you know, it knows it has to build something great in life, you know, in that place. And then where that comes from within is a place of knowing and being connected to its destiny. That's what Capricorn is. The nodes also, the North Node also reflects that as the destiny that we're supposed to take in this life, or, you know, the fated karmic events that, you know, play out in our lives that get us closer to our destiny and to understand our destiny and what that really means. But if we try to control it too much, some conflict can come up and it can be painful. But maybe some of these triggers and these painful things that can come up with this moon squaring Mars and Chiron can really help you find better solutions that, you know, can be very interesting or innovative, or, you know, things you didn't really think of, or maybe like finally getting to a place where it's like, okay, you know, things have to change. We got to make a decision here. And definitely this Gemini energy here now is definitely more comfortable of being like, okay, I'm just going to go out and do something new. Like, I can't just keep doing the same old fucking thing anymore, especially with Venus and Gemini. If we're talking about relationships, you know, with Venus dispositing the South Node, Venus is in Gemini. You know, it is. It's like, fuck, I need different things. I need to be stimulated in a different way. I need different kinds of partnerships, you know, and I can't be doing the same old things anymore, you know. Because it is, with this Neptune at 29 degrees, it is like insanity. It's like you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're going to get the same result. And it's just going to keep you taking you into the same place. Saturn and Pisces also teaching that. We can't just be doing the same loops over and over and just not being honest about the reality and just, you know, it's like, well, I'm just going to check out and not really face it and deal with it. Because that's what Pisces does best, right? It says, I'll just check out and float off and go into outer space, which is fine. It's beautiful. But Saturn's teaching us how to ground that and, you know, like be able to bring our dream world and our visions into reality, you know, and that's what Jupiter and Taurus also brought in, right? And helped us expand and helped us understand. And when Jupiter left Taurus into Gemini, there was this nice sextile. So we can't forget, you know, we got to have the vision, but we also have to ground the energy and actually put it into action and be realistic about what it is. It's a different level for everybody in their life. It's different. So this is a different dynamic this week. And we've had so many, not that it's not a positive weekend, it is. Because we are moving into all new territory with Gemini. Now that we have 3 planets in Gemini, you know, Mercury getting ready to conjunct Uranus. So it is an exciting weekend, as long as we're not willing, you know, as long as we're willing to not hold on to things so much, being willing to let go, just branch out, get out, do different things, you know. If you need to talk to somebody, reach out. The moon square Neptune can be very intense emotionally and very deep, and can bring up some interesting feelings and emotions that we haven't felt in a few weeks. We've been on a very benefic journey since that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So all that, we have to take all that energy and keep moving forward in a positive light, and keep up. And that full moon too, was a Jupiter ruled full moon. So now Jupiter's in its detriment, so focusing more on the things that are right in front of you, and expanding upon the things that you already have and what you've already manifested with Jupiter and Taurus. You got to keep expanding upon that, But also, like I said, like being able to see the vision and hold the vision and bring it into reality and ground it and activate it. Let's see what the cards have. We have the High Priestess. So, it's like being connected, to some higher divine source. And that's what Neptune always reminds us, especially at 29 degrees. It's like the spiritual and psychic vibration is at the highest we're ever going to feel it, in my opinion. Because we'll never feel or experience Neptune in Pisces again. This is the last time in our life. Neptune's 55-year cycle. We'll never feel it. But we also have to be aware there's two sides here, like there is the light and the dark. Then we have to look at both sides. And that's what Gemini teaches us. Okay? It's not the twins. I feel like this is controversial maybe, but I don't look at Gemini as the twins. Okay? I look at it as the light and the dark, or the masculine and the feminine energy, not the twins. It is the whole of, the left and the right brain. It's Mercury. Okay, it's hermetic. So being able to look at both sides, the emotional and the logic, and then coming to your conclusion. That is, I guess, the art of critical thinking, which the Matrix totally pulls us out of. Which Uranus and Mercury getting closer together is trying to totally shatter that fucking program. And Pluto and Aquarius also trying to shatter that program. But on the other end of that, on the dark side of Pluto and Aquarius, trying to take more control and manipulate from a whole nother, underlying force. So us being able to logically and emotionally look at both sides and be neutral and say, this is what it is, and this is my conclusion, and this is what I'm going to do about it, and this is the direction I'm going to take. And then the moon squaring the nodes can definitely feel like, okay, we need to take a new direction here. If we're going to keep building our destiny and keep getting closer to our destiny and knowing what our soul's purpose and our journey here is in this reality, all this Gemini energy and Mercury getting closer to Uranus is trying to really help us get out of those states of being stuck or the woe is me, especially with Neptune at the 29th. But I will say, when moon squares Neptune too, it's good to sleep in. It's good to rest a little bit, channel that energy creatively. If you're an artist or a musician or whatever the fuck, whatever you do creatively, channel that in that sort of way if these emotions come up, because it's sometimes it's hard to express them too, and they have nowhere to go. So when we're talking about Neptune energy, it's channeling it in a spiritual or in our artistic or creative way can really help transmute those feelings, even when you can't really make sense of them. And then when you transmute them, then it helps you understand them, in whatever creative or artful way you channel those kinds of feelings. So this will be an interesting weekend, and the nodes are moving to 13 degrees as we come in. So then, we're more than halfway through the north and south node in Aries and Libra. So I will see you all on Monday. Hope this was helpful. It's definitely a different weekend. We've had so much amazing energy. So this weekend definitely is a little bit more challenging emotionally, but also not forgetting what we just went through, and that is what is setting us up for the next 6 months, the next 12 years. Okay. And by the time we get to the full moon in Taurus, that's when we're really going to start to see the seeds we planted, and even the what is starting to sprout up now really become its fullest form in a healthy way. So I'll see y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend and take care. Peace out.